Rob Farha. Some of you might know that name from 2+2. It's not his real last name. He played in Connecticut and Atlantic City. He moved to Vegas 2012, 13 about. He played a lot of 2-5 at Venetian, 1,000 max. And we lived in the same house. We both rented a room in the same house for a couple years. So I got to know him. I was listening to his Crush Live Poker podcast for the few months leading up to the quarantine. And one of the things he said, he was like making fun of people who fold too much in the big blind. He said there are people in Vegas who, if it folds to the button raises, the small blind folds, and they're in the big blind with A7, they fold. And he was laughing at them because to him it's an automatic defend from the big blind, whether you call or whether you 3-bet. If you're good enough to defend that and play that hand, do it. If you're not, don't. That would be like saying in basketball, you know, a 3-point shot is so valuable, and laughing at people who don't take 3-point shots. DeAndre Jordan isn't in the NBA for his 3-point shooting abilities. Patrick Beverley, Rajon Rondo, these guys weren't professional basketball players because they can shoot threes. It's a valuable thing in basketball, especially now compared to decades ago, but it doesn't mean everyone can do it. It doesn't mean everyone should be doing it. And that's the same in poker. Why would you do things you're terrible at when you can play to your strengths and do the things you're good at? That's what I do. If you're just starting out, you should do a lot and you should figure out what you're good at and what you're bad at. I wouldn't eliminate things so quickly. I've played 10,500 hours of cash games in casinos. That's in addition to all the home games I've played. That's in addition to all the sit and goes I played back when online was popular. I know the things I'm good at. I know the things I'm not good at. I'm good at volume. I play a lot. I played the most hours in 1 year in my life during law school. I've played 300 hours in a month twice. I've played 286 hours in 29 days once. I'm good at volume, so I do it. I'm amazing at game selection, so I do that well. That's one of the reasons I actually am not going for a ton of hours in $500 maximum buy-in games from yesterday's video. You can click the link on the top of the screen, because there are a lot of times at Venetian, for example, like 2-4 is not running. Of course, can't play it then. Even when there's like one table of it, I don't like the idea of playing it. If it's bad, there's nowhere else to move to, and you go to the bottom of the 1-3 list and you have to wait for a while. So I don't love the idea of playing games where you can't table select in the same room. So I play games where there's a ton of tables. Aria usually has at least 5 1-3s. Venetian a few days ago had 12 1-3s. Caesars a few days ago I think had 13 1-3s. So I play a stake where my ability to table change and find the best game in the room for me is valuable because it's possible. I'm good at understanding and taking advantage of promos when they're around. In Atlantic City, back in the day in Wisconsin, the summer in Council Bluffs, there's not so many of them. Out in Vegas, there's a ton of them. I'm good at knowing what it's going to take to accomplish the promo, to qualify. Bally's, I do them all the time. I've never done a months-long promo at South Point. I just know I'm not going to be there that much. I've never done a months-long promo at Venetian, because whatever I think the hours is, it's probably going to be more than that. And I know I'm not good at forcing hours in bad games to make sure I'm like the top 100 hours earners or whatever it is over at Venetian to qualify for their free roll tournaments. I do the ones I'm good at. I understand what it's going to take going in, and I make a lot in Vegas out of promotions, mostly at MGM and at Bally's. I know cash games are my thing, not tournaments. I don't waste thousands of dollars in buy-ins in the World Series. I know tournaments are my thing, and even related to promos, I don't go for promos where the prize is you're just entered into a tournament. I used to play, just home games, and if you count sit and goes as tournaments, much different, a turbo sit and go, than a very multi-table live tournament. But there was a time where I had some experience in that structure. Not anymore. So I play cash games. The World Series comes to town. and I go to another city, continue playing cash games, I play to my strengths. And even with YouTube, I'm playing to my strengths. I'm not great at graphics. I'm not great at video editing. I try to remove those things from my videos as much as possible. And even the topics I discuss. I've kept more stats about my poker than anyone in history. I've given more stats than anyone in history, about 10,300 hours worth when you combine that 10,000 hours video and my summer in Council Bluffs. I'm a better storyteller than most people, most poker YouTube channels. I keep track of all my expenses. I'm the only poker player with a YouTube channel who talks about expenses. I know I'm not going to compete with other YouTube channels playing like 10, 20, 40 double board bomb pots, and I'm not going to have thumbnails that are just pictures of mountains of chips. I don't try to compete in that way. I compete in other ways. Stats, more than anyone. Expenses, the only one. Stories, there are a few who tell a good story. Not many who even try. Even in YouTube poker, I play to my strengths. So whether it's in poker or any other endeavor in your life, if you've been doing it for a long time and there's some facet of it that you're just not getting right, I would recommend just totally eliminating it. Know what you're good at, know what you're bad at, do the things you're good at, don't do the things you're bad at, whether it's in poker or anything else.